Hi, this is Augustin, and I'm here with kind of a new series of some masterclass tips. And I thought I'd start things off with a question I've gotten a lot recently, which was about ricochet. Some people have asked about tips to play ricochet. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about different kinds of ricochet and how to practice it. I think one of the common misconceptions is that we think that we have to throw the bow on the string, like in a throwing motion. I think ricochet is most reliable when you're actually dropping the bow. That's because gravity will always be the same. So no matter how you're feeling, the bow will drop to the string at the same speed. So the things to watch out for is a couple of parameters. One is exactly how high above the string the bow is, where you are in the bow in terms of how close to the tip and how close to the frog, and how tight your bow is. Those three things basically determine exactly how it will jump. So if there's you basically figure out exactly how you're comfortable doing it, and then make sure it's this way every time. So for example, if I'm playing something like I make sure I'm exactly the right height, and then I go up again at the same place. And I just make sure I always go back to that exact same place and then drop the bow, and then it'll always automatically jump the same way. So that's maybe the most straightforward type of ricochet that is on one string. It gets a little more tricky also when you have to do string crossings and when you want to try to do it continuously. So one example of that is like in Paganini 5, the original bowing. In this case, you do three notes in down bow ricochet, and then the up bow has to go up high enough and travel enough distance that the next down bow will be in exactly the same place where you started earlier. So that it becomes a continuous pattern. One thing that makes it actually slightly easier is if you have a string change going upwards after the first note. So in Recuerdos de la Alhambra, which I've played a lot recently, there often is this pattern. Because one note is lower, when you go up, it actually helps the jumping motion. So in Recuerdos de la Alhambra, I actually find that it's the ones that are on the same string that are a little harder because I have to give extra impact whenever there is something on the same string. Yeah, well, those are some sort of basic concepts. Let me know if you have any other questions, and enjoy practicing some ricochet.